Buckle up, Buttercup, the Donald's back in town. Well folks, he's done it again. The Donald has returned for a second victory lap around the Oval Office, and this time he's got 4 more years to make America, well, whatever it is he wants to make it. But hold on to your hats, world, because this ride is gonna be a bumpy one. We're talking about the global economy, and with Trump at the helm, things are about to get interesting. Think of it like this: the world economy is a giant game of Jenga, and Trump is the guy who keeps pulling out blocks with one hand while juggling chainsaws with the other. Sure, he might pull off some impressive moves, but he's also one wrong step away from sending the whole thing crashing down. So what exactly does Trump 2.0 mean for your wallet, your job, and the price of that avocado toast you love so much? Let's dive into the wild world of Trumponomics and find out. Remember when Trump promised to win so much that we'd all get tired of winning? Well, it turns out that winning in trade wars might not be as fun as it sounds. When it comes to trade wars, winning might feel a lot like losing. The economic impact can be severe and far-reaching. See, Trump's a big fan of tariffs. Those are like taxes on goods from other countries. He believes they can protect American industries. He slapped tariffs on everything from Chinese steel to Canadian lumber, hoping to protect American jobs and businesses. The idea was to make foreign goods more expensive and encourage people to buy American. The problem is, trade wars are kinda like playing chicken with a bulldozer. Someone's gonna get hurt, and it's probably not gonna be the bulldozer. The stakes are incredibly high. When we put tariffs on their stuff, other countries tend to retaliate with tariffs of their own, which can drive up prices for everyone. Remember that avocado toast? Yeah, get ready to pay extra for that. And it's not just about avocados. Many imported goods can become more expensive, affecting your daily shopping. Trade wars can disrupt global supply chains, making it harder and more expensive for businesses to get the parts and products they need. This can lead to delays and shortages. And when businesses have to pay more, guess who ends up footing the bill? Increased production costs often get passed down to consumers. That's right, folks. You, the consumer. So while trade wars might sound like a strategy to protect national interests, they often end up costing everyone more in the long run. One of Trump's signature moves during his first term was a massive tax cut, primarily benefiting corporations and wealthy individuals. This move was hailed by many in the business community as a masterstroke, promising to unleash a wave of investment and economic activity. The idea was that these tax cuts would trickle down to the rest of us, boosting the economy and creating jobs. Proponents argued that with more money in their pockets, businesses would expand, hire more workers, and increase wages. It's like giving a sugar rush to a hyperactive toddler. Sure, they might be bouncing off the walls for a little while, but eventually, that sugar high is gonna wear off, and then you're left with a cranky, exhausted mess. The initial surge of energy is undeniable, but the crash that follows can be just as intense. While the tax cuts did provide a short-term boost to the economy, their long-term impact is still up for debate. Some sectors saw immediate benefits, with stock markets hitting record highs and consumer spending increasing. Some economists argue that they'll lead to higher economic growth and job creation in the long run, suggesting that the initial boost could set the stage for sustained prosperity. While others warn that they'll only serve to increase the national debt and exacerbate income inequality. Critics point out that the benefits have been unevenly distributed, with the wealthiest reaping the lion's share of the rewards. And let's not forget about Trump's penchant for government spending. His administration has not shied away from ambitious projects and hefty expenditures. He's promised to invest heavily in infrastructure, the military, and other areas. These investments are seen as crucial for modernizing the country and ensuring national security. While these investments could have positive impacts, they also come with a hefty price tag. The challenge lies in balancing these expenditures with the nation's fiscal health. And when the government spends more than it takes in, well, let's just say it's not a sustainable long-term strategy. The growing deficit raises concerns about the future economic stability and the burden on future generations. Section 4: Deregulation, unleashing the power of the free market, or maybe just unleashing chaos. Trump is a big believer in deregulation, the idea that we need to get the government off the backs of businesses and let the free market work its magic. He argues that by removing these constraints, businesses can innovate, grow, and create more jobs. And sure, there are definitely some regulations that are outdated, burdensome, and unnecessary. These can stifle creativity and slow down progress, making it harder for businesses to thrive. But there's a big difference between sensible deregulation and just setting everything on fire and hoping for the best. Sensible deregulation involves carefully evaluating which rules are truly needed and which ones can be safely removed. Take, for example, Trump's rollback of financial regulations put in place after the 2008 financial crisis. These regulations were meant to prevent the risky behaviors that led to the crisis in the first place. These regulations were designed to prevent another meltdown, but Trump argued that they were holding back economic growth. He believed that by loosening these rules, banks would be able to lend more freely and stimulate the economy. So, he loosened the reins on Wall Street, allowing banks to take on more risk. This move was celebrated by many in the financial sector who saw it as a chance to expand their operations and increase profits. Now, some argue that this will lead to more lending and investment, boosting the economy. They believe that with fewer restrictions, businesses can grow faster and create more jobs. Others worry that it's just a matter of time before another financial crisis hits. They fear that without proper oversight, the same risky behaviors that caused the last crisis will resurface. And it's not just financial regulations that are on the chopping block. Trump has also targeted environmental regulations, labor regulations, and consumer protections, arguing that these too are holding back economic growth. Trump has also targeted environmental regulations, labor regulations, and consumer protections. He believes that by removing these, businesses will be able to operate more efficiently and compete better on a global scale. While he argues that this will unleash economic growth, critics worry that it will come at the expense of our health, our safety, and our planet. They caution that without these protections, we could see increased pollution, worker exploitation, and unsafe products flooding the market. Section 5. The world takes cover. Global impacts of Trump. 2.0 America's not an island, no matter what some politicians might want you to believe. We're part of a global economy, which means that Trump's policies have ripple effects around the world. And let's just say that the rest of the world isn't exactly thrilled about Trump 2.0. For one thing, Trump's protectionist trade policies have created a lot of uncertainty and instability in the global trading system. When the world's biggest economy starts throwing up trade barriers, it can send shockwaves through the entire system. This can lead to decreased global trade, slower economic growth, and even job losses in other countries. But it's not just about trade. Trump's America First approach to foreign policy has also alienated many of America's traditional allies, creating a leadership vacuum on the world stage. This has emboldened other countries like China and Russia to assert themselves more forcefully, leading to increased geopolitical tensions and instability. Section 6. The crystal ball is fuzzy, predicting the unpredictable. So, what does all this mean for the future of the global economy? Well, if there's one thing we've learned about Donald Trump, it's that he's unpredictable. He's quick to change his mind, he often contradicts himself, and he seems to relish in keeping everyone guessing. This makes it incredibly difficult to predict what he'll do next, let alone what the long-term consequences of his actions will be. It's like trying to predict the weather in the middle of a hurricane. Sure, you can make some educated guesses based on the current conditions, but there's always a good chance that you'll be caught completely off guard. That being said, one thing is clear: the global economy is in for a wild ride over the next 4 years. Buckle up, folks, it's gonna be a bumpy one. Section 7. Stay informed, stay engaged. Your guide to surviving the Trump economic roller coaster. In these uncertain times, it's more important than ever to stay informed about the economy and how it affects you. Don't just rely on sound bites and headlines. Dig deeper, ask questions, and challenge your own assumptions. Read articles from reputable sources, follow economists and journalists you trust, and engage in thoughtful discussions with people who have different perspectives. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you understand about the economy, the better equipped you'll be to navigate the ups and downs of the Trump era. And who knows? Maybe, just maybe, by staying informed and engaged, we can help steer this ship in a more positive direction.